Welcome back to Rapid Quants. This is Michael Merle, and today is going to be a big day for us because I'm finally going to introduce to you our super bundle, which has been months in the making. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to share, so let's dive right in. Okay, what I've done here to make things a little bit easier, because there's a lot to talk about, I wasn't kidding. I've put together a pretty extensive list here on the member page. So if you sign up, if you're a member, you're going to be logging in here every once in a while. And you're going to have a comprehensive list of everything, all the services, and it's basically segmented in two parts. One is equities, stocks, and the other one is crypto. In this first video, I'm going to only cover the crypto part. And the next video, I'm going to talk about the equities part. So if you have no interest at all in crypto, then you can safely skip this video and maybe just watch the next one. But honestly, I wouldn't recommend it because there are a lot of goodies in the goodie bag. And once you see those equity curves, you might just reconsider. And I think I'll make a crypto trader out of you just yet. All right, let's get started. First, we're going to talk about Veritas. So what's Veritas? Explained on here, it's basically a long-term cryptocurrency signal for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins. Also cash in a way, because the last two words here are very important, seasonal positioning. Because effectively that's what Veritas is. Veritas tells you whether or not it is cash, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or altcoin season, depending on where the performance is the strongest. So cash may sound kind of weird to you, but there are indeed times when you just want to sit out the market, when you don't want to be in the market. 2022, you probably remember that year. If you're a crypto trader, you definitely remember 2022 was a terrible year. And well, sitting it out, waiting it out in cash, or being short was really the way to go. And Veritas did this very well. In fact, right here from this member section, you can actually click on the profit curve, and it's right here. And well, you can tell it's done very well lately. It's right now at $51,000 in profits over the last 3 years. That's basically just starting with $1,000, I might add. So it's quite significant. And what I really particularly like about this, of course, I like the finger of God up here, right? I mean, it's just beautiful. That's why we want to see also like this advance here. But honestly, this is the easy part. The hard part is right here. And it's done extremely well during that period between 2022 and, well, the first part of 2023 when things weren't clear yet. It kept us out of trouble. Might look late, but it picked the perfect spot to get in. Once things really started advancing, actually, it started getting long here, believe it or not here. And that was significant. And I think it's done an amazing job. I have a little bit more detail here. If we're looking at Veritas, so here's the same chart, I just updated it. By the way, each of these graphs I'm going to show you, all are updated every day. So if you're clicking on these links, these are bit.ly links, and the scripts that run, actually, the services do update the graphs as well. So every day when it runs, boom, it updates the graph. And what that means is that you always have an up-to-date view on what's going on. It's even included in the alerts. I'm going to show the alerts in a second, actually. Let me pop this up. So Veritas alerts right here. So here are the Veritas alerts. You see them, they're updated. Today's November 21st. We're still in Bitcoin season. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It's been in Bitcoin for a while now. And here's the link to the profit graph as well. So this is another graph. I think I'm probably going to include this on the same page. I haven't done it yet. I was just putting the finishing touches and everything. Now that I'm talking about it, it's probably appropriate to add this graph because it's really cool. It shows you every year. And you can tell even 2022, that's what I want to see, right? Yeah, we're taking a little bit of a hit, but I mean, that's tolerable, right? That's a flesh wound. Not the Monty Python flesh wound, a real flesh wound. We can survive that and live to fight another day, and that's what it did. So just consider this. Consider just by following the trend how far you can go. And it really takes the guesswork away from where should I be? Is it a good time to buy Bitcoin? Is it a good time to buy Ethereum? Should I switch from Bitcoin into Ethereum or the other way around? This one really sniffs out the trends, and it does a really, really good job, okay? This is basically a system that just shows you where the getting is good, so to say. And also tells you when you should stay out of the market. I really love Veritas. I wanted a strong and reliable trend signal, and Veritas really delivers. And it's been delivering for a while now. So next in the lineup is, of course, Gravitas. And once again, I could click on these links, but I have them here now. So let's just mosey over here to this graph, which is pretty big. In this case, what you're actually seeing here is the way that Gravitas sees Bitcoin. And what Gravitas does is basically trading only on Bitcoin and Ethereum. It says it right here. It's always in the market, long, short, crypto. It's always in the market. That's the first thing to understand. Versus Veritas is more of a seasonal signal. It tells you when to be in cash because it assumes that you're not necessarily want to be short. With Gravitas, it's a little bit different. You can be long, you can also be short. And if you cannot be short, if you don't want to even trade an ETF, then just wait it out in cash. Works equally well. You might not benefit from trading it short, but if you look at this market, the meat is really in the long trades. Although it has done very well during the bear market as well, I might add. So if we're looking here, right now we're actually at $122,000 over the last 4 years, again, starting with $1,000, which I think is just absolutely insane. It's taken a little bit of a hit here during the first period of this bear market, but then went short, dug itself out, kind of went straight for a while, and now it's just gangbusters. It's absolutely amazing. So that's a big difference between Gravitas and Veritas, in that this trades on both Ethereum and Bitcoin. The Ethereum graph, I'm not going to show it today. It looks equally good. Last time I looked, it was actually looking better. It was doing really well. Let me actually show you the alerts again. So here we have the Gravitas Bitcoin alert for today. There's a little bit more detail on this one. It tells you the closing price. It tells you when it was entered, right? Active since, which is also very important, the entry price. And then here actually we have the profit graph. We have some zoom graphs because there's actually different ways to show it. Yeah, I zoomed in, for example, right? Like I showed you. And there's also more a overview graph, which is a little bit bigger. So you got different versions on the profit graph, how to look at it and keep up to date. And of course, here's the direction. Tells you to be long right now in Bitcoin. Could be short. A little while ago, we were short. So here's Ethereum, same thing. Right now also, 6% in profit, this one. It's still long. And yeah, it's been long since November 17th. Yeah, right here. Here was short, because until recently, Ethereum wasn't really doing very well. And here, actually, it exited a profitable short trade and then went long, which I really found fantastic. So it did very well. I'm really excited about this. So it's doing very well on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And yeah, couldn't think of a better system to trade on both Ethereum and Bitcoin, to be honest. It's a long-term system. Gravitas is definitely a long-term trading system. It's more of a trend trading system, I would say. But it trades short and long. So the next system I want to show, actually, before we show Fidelis, is actually CryptoKeeper. Altcoins are of particular interest to many people. And what I've seen so far are basically only one type of trading system for crypto. It's always somehow related to trading those 10x's, 20x's, basically grabbing those breakout trades. And to do this algorithmically is kind of difficult. And I don't mind trading that. I have actually signals for that. However, what I wanted for myself and also for you guys is a system that trades purely algorithmically, that goes into a trade, takes profits quickly, doesn't assume too much risk, and really takes advantage when the altcoins are really pumping, when the entire sector is really moving. And then it picks the best coins and, well, goes to town, and it has. And if you look at this equity curve, right, I've started trading this live since mid-June. It's been a while. And this has all been tracked live, by the way. This is not backtested or anything like this. And I'm going to talk about it in a second by showing you the way it works, right? CryptoKeeper right here. This is kind of interesting, right? If you take a look at this, and the reason why these alerts are a little bit more wordy is because in order to trade in this style, in this fashion, you need to appreciate the fact that when the entire crypto market moves, when especially the altcoin market moves, altcoins are almost moving in unison. They move together. Some move more, some move less. But what I do with my algorithms, I pick out a list of the highest candidates, the top candidates that I think will perform, that my algorithm tells me will perform. I don't pick them manually, obviously, right? So when you see a long list of these coins here, altcoins, they are, by the way, all Binance coins. The way to trade this is actually explained in the alert right here. It's very clear, so have no fear. And what you need to do is basically just pick 3 of them. That's it. That's what I do actually with this algo in the profit curve, because this profit curve right here, which is at over 800% now within the last, this is crazy, right? since mid-June. What it does, it takes an average of all the coins that it has traded. So internally, it trades basically all these coins here. And when it reports the profits, it basically just averages them out and divides by 3. Now, that might not sound fair, but it is the average. I don't just pick the best winners or anything like this. That would not be honest. No, I just average it out. The thing is, though, from what I've seen, and I've really run the statistics, they're very close to each other. It really doesn't matter. And per day, I pick 3 entries. You can see that they're pretty much almost identical in terms of the distance, right? How much they move. And that's really very, really interesting, because for any trader, if you're not able to trade in your exchange a particular coin, then, well, you have a list here. It's usually more than 3 or 4. So you can pick. And if you only have 2, well, then just trade those 2. But there's plenty to pick from. I just basically go by the ones that I feel have the biggest liquidity. So I pick those, or if there's Polkadot in it, then I trade Polkadot, stuff like that, right? So if I recognize symbols, then I take those. So you can pick any coin. And you hold it either 1 day or 2 days, depending on which type of entry. We have an A type of report and B type of report. And when, for instance, here this one is issued, right, on the 13th, and you're holding it until the 15th. So you're holding this one actually 2 days. The B reports you only hold for days. So you can see here, B report is actually 14 here on November 14th, and you're holding it until the 15th, around the same time. You're always holding it for 24 hours. That's how the algo works. Either 48 hours or 24 hours. You can just set an alert. You don't have to think about it. There are no exits. You just exit while there are exits, but you don't get exit signals because it's in the entry. You know already when you enter a trade, you know already when you're going to exit and how you're going to exit. Right? If you want to set a stop, set a stop. Although with stuff like that, I don't even bother. All right? So that's that. That's all there's to be said about CryptoKeeper. It's very simple. You get the alert. Timing isn't really that important either. You can basically take it an hour later, even 2 hours later. If it's more than 3 or 4 hours later, you might want to give it a good look. Market has dropped by then, maybe you take the entry. If it's gone a lot already, if it's pushed higher a lot, then you might want to skip it because the meat of the move might have happened already, okay? So let's go back to our member page. So what else is in the goodie bag? We have the Fidelis alert. So Fidelis is more of an experimental system, and I'm going to pop that up right here. So this one is a long-short system for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And you basically get entry and exit alerts. Let me show you. So here we go. Here are the entry alerts and there's exit alerts. And you basically take in these entries for this Bitcoin, USD, take an entry at 11:20. I was doing some testing this morning. So that's why you have 3 alerts. The chart wasn't updating, so I had to fix something. So no, you only get 1 alert per day. You never get 2. So here we go. The other day it was going long on Bitcoin and it returned 2%. And right now on the 21st, and it's going long at 94,287. Crazy, right? It takes this long entry and it holds it until it signals an exit. That's basically how it works. It's really not that complicated. It just basically trades the trend. With stuff like this, I still would deem this experimental. I've been trading this for about 6 months now forward. And well, for me, I'm really looking at it from a perspective. This is a long-term trading system again. You're taking intermittent entries, and it just kind of trades the swings between Ethereum and Bitcoin, because sometimes Bitcoin is stronger, Ethereum is stronger. And when it finds a particular condition in the market, it basically trades that. So what else do we have? Oh, well, we're getting to the really interesting stuff now. So, I mean, the signals are interesting, of course, but the fun stuff I kept for last. So the crypto expected move tool. Yeah, you definitely need to see that one. So you've often heard me talk about expected move. And again, we're always talking about the bell curve. The way I've been trading on the option side has always been on the basis of expected move, because that's really how the market works under the hood. All these people who are selling options in the equities market, for example, are trading on the basis of that because they know that within a particular range, they have controlled risk. So you see institutional traders sell options outside the expected move range for a reason. It's kind of a bread and butter business, and it's been there for a very long time, and it really took off after 2013 when weekly options were introduced. So I actually can show the expected move right here as well. On the spiders, we're going to talk about in the equity side, but I just want to show it real quick if you pop up the spiders right here. So it's a live chart, and what's really cool about it is that you can actually zoom in and out. And with equities, you also have seasonal statistics. If you screw up, you can just do reload here. Yeah. You see down here, you have also statistics, but that's only with stocks because we have so much data. Right? Here's the expected move range. And in this case, it's actually based on options data that I get from Yahoo, and then I do my own calculations, similar to what Thinkorswim is doing, calculate the Greeks and all this kind of stuff. Now, we don't have this on the crypto side. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this when we're going to talk about equities. But here, for instance, with Bitcoin, this is super interesting right here. Right? If we're zooming out and scroll a bit to the side here, we see a little bit more context. Right? I showed 2 years of worth of data. So this is really interesting because this expected move range here, up and down, I've calculated that on the basis of realized volatility, based on the volatility we've seen recently, right? Yeah. So what it usually means is that the market expects this particular instrument, in this case Bitcoin, could be Ethereum, could be Solana. But the expected move range is very, very important because it tells you a lot about what the market is doing. And for instance, right now, this is kind of actually interesting. This is happening right now because right now we're pushing right above the expected move range for this week. This is where the market opened. That's where we started, right in the center. You can see same spacing below and above, right? And normally the market expects Bitcoin to stay within this range. And we don't have a really strong options market yet, but what we usually see is acceleration. For instance, last week it happened here. We had an expected move range run down here. What happened was that we punched through on the very same day. The line was actually up here, right here where it ends. So within the first day, Monday, this pushed through the expected move range. And from then on, it was just riding higher, crazy. Nobody could get in. A lot of people got locked out here. And of course, it just kept going up higher and higher and higher and then ended near 90,000. And now it just keeps advancing higher. And we're like basically a bagel throw away from the 100,000 mark. And that's just absolutely nuts. So let's look at Ethereum just because it probably is going to give you a little bit more context on the expected move range. So very interesting as well. Look at this. I love this chart because this shows you a little bit more context. Because with where Bitcoin is right now, it's kind of difficult to show how well the expected move ranges line up because it's really all-time highs. It's hanging somewhere out there, right? Like a flag in the wind. And there's no context to really hang yourself up on. And here with Ethereum, it shows a lot more context. And you can see, again, these ranges are calculated algorithmically based on volatility. And you can see how well they line up. It's absolutely crazy. And I've seen this over and over again. This is no coincidence. So there's definitely value to this. And you can see that here right now with Ethereum, we're just punching higher here. And if we're blowing above 3,400, then, well, it's just going to go crazy, I think, because it's just going to push to this spike high here and most likely also push above this spike high right here. So Ethereum is going to get its groove on, it seems. Yeah. It's looking really good. So you can tell this is a really useful tool. And I actually use it all the time now. That's why I wrote it in the first place, because I started with a spreadsheet, like I told you, right? And honestly, drawing on TradingView charts and also, Thinkorswim and all the other charts I have, it got really old very quickly. I didn't want to do this anymore, right? So yeah, it's just super helpful tool. I love it. Here again, how nicely this lines up. If you start using this, you're going to see this all the time, how it lines up and how it really frames the price action so perfectly. It's a great tool. I love it. Okay, so I pulled up XDZ, which actually stands for Tezos. Right. I'm glad I'm printing those names up here. Because often I forget too. There's so many coins. It's crazy. Anyway, so I love this chart because it shows us exactly what I was talking about, the context, right? If you press this tool right here, you can zoom out a little bit. You can scroll around at your heart's content, and you can see how nicely the expected move range frames the price action. And it's really compelling because what it shows you is here what happens on Monday. So we started the week right here. See, this was Monday. And we opened a little bit higher than where we left off on Sunday. This is Sunday. And this is kind of interesting. See that? This doesn't happen very often in crypto. It actually jumped between here and here, which is crazy, right? You don't see that very often. We don't have sessions in crypto. So keep an eye on these kind of things. When something like this happens, this actually gives you a little bit of a hint of where the market is going. Anyway, what it does, it immediately busts higher, crashes through the upper expected move range for the week, doesn't even look back, and just keeps pumping higher. And since then, it's kind of normalized. So I find it interesting that it's included today in the Crypto Keeper alert. And this is probably not a bad one to take, maybe with one or two others, right? Because, well, it just pulled back. It's very bullish. People have taken profits. I might be ready for an encore. You never know. There's no way predicting this. That's why I take other coins. Let's check maybe ONG. Okay. Yeah, this looks a lot messier. It's a tiny coin. It's doing its best. Let's scroll out a little bit and see what we got. Again, I think it's doing a fair job with this mess that it has. I think it looks pretty good, actually. It actually really nails the upper spike highs here, right? Where I would consider technical resistance here. And again, it does it algorithmically, which I find astounding. I keep seeing this over and over again. And seeing it on a messy chart like that is really, really cool. So same thing, it's busting higher. And if it actually pushes above here, then I think it's ready to rock and roll. So it's looking pretty good. Anyway, and I think that pretty much wraps up the crypto side of our super bundle. And next time in our next video, we're going to talk about equities. We're going to talk about stocks. We're going to talk about options. We're going to talk about implied volatility. All that good stuff. So, if you do anything at all on the equity side, this is not one to be missed. And wait until you see those equity curves. I think you'll like what you're going to see. All right, in the meantime, right up here, you're going to see 2 URLs where you can sign up to our super bundle right now. You've got 2 options. One is monthly recurring. The other one is an entire year. Yes, you can lock in an entire year of our super bundle. I think it's a great price. Either way, you can't lose. All right, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.